I think their thinking is, okay, yo, you've had a couple, hard fights. Let's chill out, stay in good nick. This guy's tough, he's durable, and he's not going to get knocked out easy. And, he's going to give you a good fight. And this is the fight we need to keep you in good nick, getting ready for the undisputed championship.
Does
Simple.
does Chisora stand any chance of winning? And if so, how would, if you were in his corner, how would you be approaching this fight? How do you think he can get better, Fury?
This is like a lottery ticket for him to be able to fight a guy 3 times, and on the third time, the man's the heavyweight champion of the world. I would be pulling out all stops. This is a chance, an opportunity, and and he so has it. And what are you going to do with it? What is he going to do with it? He has to perform. This is what he has to do.
Do you think Chisora has a chance of beating Fury in terms of like how do you think he would get the better of it?
Well, if you look at the past 2 fights, he had an opportunity, had a chance. This one, the third chance, what's he going to do? He's got to pull out all stops. He can't come in there with, one plan. He's got to come in there with 2 plans, and he's got to put every effort into trying to win, because this is his last stop. This is the only chance he's going to get to be able to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. So, this is an important fight for him. And I know he's looking at it seriously.
Fury's taken aim at some boxing fans, pundits, other fighters who have been critical of the fact he's fighting Chisora. Does he risk alienating some of his own supporters by doing that?
No, I'm not even worried about that. I mean, it's not, he actually is great with his fans, and he's got a lot of fans. So, he can't please every fan, and not all the fans are going to be happy. So he's just got to live life like he's been living it, with his realism, and being real, talking how he feels.
As a heavyweight great yourself, where do you rank Fury amongst the best of all time?
Oh, Fury is definitely up there as a great heavyweight. I mean, every era brings different fighters, different bunch of fighters. And, my era, that was definitely me, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield. This era is a different era. And, I would say he's the king of this era.
How do you think he'd fare against yourself, assuming you were both in your prime?
I get asked this question a lot. And my answer to this question is, I don't answer easy questions.
That speaks for itself. That speaks for itself. Of course, there's a lot of talk about the fight with Usyk, assuming Fury gets through Chisora this Saturday. A lot of people think Fury is a step too far for Usyk, that his technical skills that got him through the fights against Anthony Joshua will just come unstuck against Fury, because Fury's so big, because of his reach, his superior reach advantage, and the fact that Fury is a highly technical boxer as well. Is that an assessment you agree with, or do you think Usyk has something in his arsenal to actually defeat Fury?
Well, Usyk cannot be taken lightly. Is the undisputed champion at, under the heavyweights, and he hasn't lost. And when he trains for a fight and boxes for a fight, there's mental and physical involved. So, it's going to be a great fight, and he's not coming there to try and lose. He's coming there to try and win. So whatever he can do to win, he will pull out the stops. I think it'll be a great fight because, he's up against a different man. He's not up against a 6'7" guy. He's up against a 6'9" guy that boxes orthodox and southpaw and moves very well around the ring. I always say a good big guy always beats a good small guy. So that's there you have it.
I think that's a very fair assessment of that potential fight. In terms of Chisora, a few months ago, there were people claiming that he should probably throw in the towel, hang his gloves up, and then obviously he came back and beat Pulev. If he loses to Tyson, do you think that's curtains for Derek, or does he still have a bit left in the tank?
I would believe that he still have a little left in the tank. I'm a positive person, so that's what you have to get.
Is it? How do you balance the kind of the hunger and willingness to continue to fight with the acknowledgement that maybe you're getting older and you're not absorbing punches as you once were, and you're not maybe as fast as you were? How do you balance that kind of acknowledgement of where a career is going?
That's a great question. Great question. You gotta balance it with looking at yourself. You gotta look into yourself and say, hey, things I was doing when I was 20, I can't do them now. Or things I was doing in my last fight, or I'm getting hit too much, or it's getting too hard for me to train. I'm suffering too many injuries. Different questions come up about that, whether you should retire or not. And only you can answer those questions. Nobody can answer those questions for you. Somebody can't say, hey, I think you should call it a day. Well, you might, that's that a person's opinion. But you may be able to go 10 rounds and knock out a whole bunch of people and make a lot of money down the rear. Why are you listening to that person? It's better that you listen to yourself.
This week, there have been discussions that have begun with Eddie Hearn and Shelley Finkel, who looks after Deontay Wilder, surrounding a Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder fight, potentially next year. How do you see that one panning out if it goes ahead?
I think they should fight. I think it's going to be a good fight for both of them. I think this era needs that type of fight to really, for us to know who would win. And right now, Anthony Joshua didn't get that opportunity because he was in a bubble for a minute. So the fact that they're trying to put that fight together, I think boxing fans would be happy about that.
They're both, power punchers, heavy hitters. What would happen if they did meet in the ring? You
said it. Both power punchers, heavy hitters. There's going to be somebody's going to get knocked out, and it'll be an interesting fight. I'm sure a lot of fans want to see it because of that reason. They're both power punchers, and they're both big guys, and they want to see this era, this era.
I've got one final question for you, Lennox. Can you give me your top 5 current heavyweights in order?
No. My top 5 heavyweights. Well, Tyson Fury is definitely at the top. Usyk, you got to give him the second. No, I don't know. There's a lot of guys that can take that 3rd, 4th, and 5th place, but those are the top 2 guys.
Fury and Usyk, I think that's fair enough. I mean, you're looking at obviously Wilder, and would AJ be in there, or has he been sort of knocked back too much by those 2 losses?
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to put Wilder in there because he's definitely a knockout artist. He's up there. He's doing what he needs to do to get at the top. There's also a couple Americans too, that are breaking that seal and coming over to being noticed. So I would just go with what I've got there right now, the top 3.